Psychology explains that the most powerful factor in how people perceive you is not just what you say, but how you appear. Before a single word is spoken, the mind has already started forming conclusions, not based on logic, but based on visual information, tone, and presence. Most people believe that character is judged only through actions, consistency, and integrity. And while that is true in the long term, the reality is that first impressions operate differently. The human brain does not wait for full information. It makes quick judgments to reduce uncertainty, and in doing so, it relies on shortcuts. One of the most important psychological shortcuts is known as the halo effect. The halo effect is a cognitive bias where one positive trait influences the perception of other unrelated traits. In simple terms, when someone appears well-groomed, confident, or visually composed, the brain automatically begins to assume other positive qualities about them. They may be seen as more intelligent, more capable, or more trustworthy even before they speak. This is not manipulation. This is mental efficiency. The brain is constantly filtering information, and it uses patterns to make fast decisions in social environments. This means that your appearance becomes part of your communication whether you are aware of it or not. When someone enters a room, people don't just see them, they interpret them. And that interpretation is often shaped within seconds. This is why presentation plays such a critical role in communication, leadership, and social interactions. Because before your ideas are evaluated, you are evaluated. Psychologists describe this as first impression formation, where early signals heavily influence later judgments. Once a positive impression is formed, it creates a kind of mental halo that affects how everything else is interpreted. Even small actions can be viewed more positively under this effect. For example, a confident posture might be interpreted as leadership. A calm tone might be interpreted as emotional intelligence. A clean and structured appearance might be interpreted as discipline, not because those qualities are proven, but because the mind is filling in gaps. This is where perception becomes extremely powerful. As Robert Greene has discussed in his work on human behavior and social dynamics, perception often shapes reality in social environments more than direct evidence does. This doesn't mean reality doesn't matter. It means reality is often filtered through perception first, and that filter can influence opportunities, attention, and trust. Another important concept connected to this is assumption filling. When people don't have complete information, they subconsciously complete the picture themselves. If someone looks confident, others assume they are competent. If someone looks organized, others assume they are disciplined. If someone looks careless, others may assume a lack of seriousness. This is how the mind reduces uncertainty in social situations. As Niccolo Machiavelli observed in human behavior, people often respond more strongly to appearance and presentation in the early stages of judgment than to deeper reality. But again, this is not about deceiving others. It is about understanding how communication begins before words even start. When you understand this, presentation stops being vanity and starts becoming clarity. You are no longer trying to change how people think. You are simply ensuring that what you communicate visually matches what you intend to express. This alignment creates smoother communication, because when appearance and behavior are consistent, people experience less confusion. And when confusion decreases, trust increases. This is why well-presented individuals often receive more attention, more patience, and more willingness from others in initial interactions. Not because they are necessarily better, but because their signal is clearer. Over time, of course, real skill, character, and consistency matter the most. But presentation plays a key role in opening the door for those qualities to be seen in the first place. It creates the first opportunity for evaluation, and in many real-world situations, that first opportunity is everything, because people rarely get a second chance to make a first impression. When you understand this principle, you start to approach your presence differently. You become more intentional, not in a forced way, but in a structured way. You begin to see yourself as a communicator not just through words, but through appearance, behavior, and energy. And this shifts how you operate in social and professional environments. You are no longer invisible in the noise. You become more readable, more understandable, more impactful, not by force, but by clarity. And clarity is what the human mind naturally responds to. So instead of trying to control perception, focus on refining expression. Because in the end, People don't just remember what you said, they remember how clearly they understood you when you appeared. If you found this insightful, subscribe for more psychology breakdowns. Like the video if it added value, and share it with someone who needs to understand this. Stay aware, stay composed, and build both skill and presence with intention.